Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's happening? What's popping, everybody? How we doing? How we feeling? How's it going? Our guy Arthur Blank had a press conference today, so we're gonna get straight to the business. We're gonna talk about the press conference. We're gonna discuss. We're gonna chop it up. So of course I am your dog. I'm Toddy. How's everybody doing? As you come in, make sure to do your dog a favor, man. Make sure that you do smash that like button, man. It really helps our channel grow, helps us out in the algorithm as well. So make sure you do smash the like button for me. But yeah, let's get straight to the business, man. Arthur Blank, he had a press conference today, so we came here. We're gonna do a live reaction. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna discuss it. See if we pick up anything, and as always, I give y'all my opinion. Y'all can give me your opinion as well. We got our dog Seth Thomas in the building. Checking in. What's up, Seth? How we feeling tonight? How we doing tonight, man? What's going on with you? Football season almost here, Seth. So man, it's been a long all season, brother. But with every day we get closer to the real deal football going down. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Arthur Blank's press conference. I have not seen 1 second of this press conference. When I got the notification today from YouTube, I wanted to watch it, but I said, you know what? Instead of watching it, I'm just gonna live stream it on YouTube, and that way when I do a reaction video on it, it'll be fresh, it'll be organic to me. So this will be my first time watching. I have not seen 1 second of the press conference. So my first time will be here watching it here on the show. We got Crimzino in the building. What's going down, Crimzino? How you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you following through. What's popping with you? Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this show on the road. We won't be here long at all. I know the Waffle Houses, they can go anywhere from about 3 to 6 hours. But looking at this press conference with Arthur Blank is only about 30 minutes. So I do anticipate this will be rather short for a live stream for me. So probably I don't see this going past 1 hour. So let's go ahead and hop into it, man. Let's jump into it. Let me share my screen. Share my screen. Give me just a moment. See here. Share screen. Just a moment, y'all. Let's make sure we got this thing up right. Yeah, that's it. Y'all give me just a second to get this thing pulled up, and we're gonna get to it. There we go. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get this thing started, man, and I'll pause it periodically and talk about it and discuss it. So let's get this show on the road here. And again, make sure that you do hit that like button for me, man. I do appreciate it. So let's go. Hold on. Well, I thought I had it queued up. Oh, there we go. Arthur Blake drinking that smart water.
Well, welcome to an early Christmas. Yeah, we gotten cranked up, and good to see you all. When I see all these smiley faces, I know it's the start of another season. So,
IQ, what's up? Shout out to Florida, man. How you doing? Appreciate you coming through, man.
Everybody had a good summer. Get a chance to get a little bit of rest, spend time with your family and loved ones, and you're all good. So, DJ's over there writing already. So you have the first question probably. Did they break you of that habit last year? At some point they were getting annoyed because you were getting all the first questions.
Well, now
Is
I'm
it?
going into the hall.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to keep it, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
For a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm be happy to visit with you. We've got a limited amount of time, but share any responses to any questions you have. Really is great to be here and great to be early part of camp, first day with pads on, which is always good to see. Players are, transitioning into the more physical time of the year, gone through OTAs and, beginning of training camp, and had a first high school practice Friday night, Saturday night, I should say. Next coming Friday night will be at the stadium. But players are in great shape, and coaching staff's in great shape, and we're ready to go. And we have a very competitive schedule, and playing a lot of great teams, and we'll certainly have to be at our best to be able to achieve the records that we hope to achieve this coming year. So with that, I'll just open it up, and you guys, gals, ask any questions you'd like.
Yeah, Arthur.
You are getting the first question.
Yes. How did you receive the news this morning about the season ticket sales being completely gone at a high level?
Well, it's great. I mean, obviously, it's a tribute to our fans. I've been blessed, really, having Atlanta's been blessed having a great fan base since I acquired the team in 2001, 2002, being our first season, and to see us come back to that position that we're in for many years of being sold out is it's a tribute to our fans, a tribute to the franchise, to the stadium itself. We put a lot of effort into making sure the stadium, which is now on its seventh year, is kept in pristine shape, current in all ways. Made changes to seating, suite areas, lounge areas, loge areas, a variety of things. So we want to make sure we have a competitive product on the field for our fans to enjoy, and we think we will. So.
Yeah, that's. I saw the Falcons announce that. I think it was today that season tickets have been sold out, which is a great thing. Let's ring the bell for that. Great thing for the Falcons, man. We've always caught some flack for our attendance and sometimes our fan base. So to see us get a season ticket sellout, that's a great thing. It just really lets us all know that people are excited going into this season, man. They're excited. They are excited that we got us a good quarterback going into the season with Kirk Cousins. We went out and we cut that check. We brought Kirk in, so fans are excited about that. They're excited to see what Kirk Cousins can do with the young players that we already have here. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, excited to see what happens with that. I'm sure they're excited to see what year 2 of Bijan is going to hold. I'm sure some are excited to see what year 3 of Tyler Algier is going to hold. I'm sure some fans are excited that we no longer have Arthur Smith here. We have a new head coach, new coaching staff, new scheme. So there's a lot of excitement in the air, and I think the vast majority of Falcons fans, even some of us more pessimistic fans that compared to other fans, I think most of us think we're going to be winning this year. When I say winning this year, I'm not saying we're going to win a Super Bowl. I'm not going to jump off that cliff. But I from everybody that I've talked to, all Falcons fans and congregated with and just talked about the team, everybody seems to have a positive outlook going into this season. So that reflects on obviously ticket sales. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. The season is here. We got preseason football what a day or two from now. So we finally here. Shout out to IQ in the building, checking in from Central Florida. Jay Diaz in the building says, yeah, what's good, Tyler? What's up, Jay? How we doing? What's good, Falcons fan? Appreciate you coming through, showing some love. Self says they cut Verbal today also. Who was that? Who was Verbal? Catch me up on exactly who that is, Self. So let's continue the video.
It's great. It's great news. Yeah.
Also, we haven't talked to you since the tampering case was settled and the drafting of.
That's your second question.
Yeah.
Are you going to get all the questions or what?
No, I just got a couple here. We'll share with the group.
Okay.
Moving forward.
Yes, sir. Second question.
We didn't talk to you after the tampering.
Arthur Blank love mess with D-Led. Like how you answer the first question in your press conference and you answer 2 questions.
The case was settled after Michael Penix was drafted after Kirk Cousins signed.
Okay.
help us with how those things were squared up?
Well, obviously they're not connected. So the tampering situation, we were advised by the NFL that we didn't dot every I and cross every T, and despite our attempt to do that, and there were a couple of procedural mistakes, I think, that were made by the organization, and we fully cooperated with the NFL as we always do in any sort of investigation. They found there were certain things were deficient in the way we handle things with Kirk, and so we've addressed those things internally. Find something that's a problem, you fix it, make sure it doesn't happen again, and that's our attitude about it. The NFL is certainly doing their job and doing it well. The question about Penix is what specifically?
The league was kind of caught off guard. You just signed Kirk and paid him a pretty good salary, and then he was 8th pick when the so-called draft people thought you might have gone defensive line.
Right. Yeah. So thank heavens we don't always listen to the league, and thank heavens we don't always listen to the media, and thank heavens we don't always do what everybody else thinks we should be doing. We're actually very independent thinkers, and the decision about Penix in this case at number 8, I'll go back a little bit and say that we had made it clear to Kirk and others that we probably were going to draft a quarterback during this draft. As it turned out, that Michael Penix, for our coaching staff and our personnel department, graded extraordinarily high.
So did he? Did Blank just say that he made it perfectly clear to Kirk Cousins that they were probably going to draft the quarterback? Did I hear that correctly, y'all? And the reason I'm asking that because I know I'm getting old, obviously, but I do remember when we drafted Penix. Kirk Cousins' agent, he spoke out and he was saying that they're a surprise, and I'm going to start paraphrasing. They didn't see this coming, and I don't know if this was a direct quote from Cousins' camp, but I know there were reports that Kirk Cousins felt some kind of way about it. Now, to Cousins' defense, soon after the draft, he went on like a press run, and he addressed those questions, and he stood in the paint like a champ. He was the ultimate professional. He was pretty much saying, look, I can't worry about things that are not in my control. I can't control who the front office draft. So I'm only going to worry about things that I can control. Now, if you're a good observer of people, you could tell that Cousins did kind of feel some kind of way. But you can also tell that, hey, I'm a professional, man. My check gonna clear every game, every Tuesday. My check gonna clear, and I wanna be the quarterback to get the Falcons a Super Bowl. So I understand this is a business, and I understand that I'm way closer to the end of my career than I am to the beginning of my career. And I'm just gonna do what I can do to help the Falcons win as many games as possible. I really loved and enjoyed how Kirk Cousins handled those questions. And I can't speak for anybody in that locker room, but I think that kind of helps soothe things over in the locker room, and to a certain extent. Let's see. Let me catch up with the comments, y'all. Crimzino says, I'm not going to say Super Bowl contenders, but definitely contenders. I like that. Let's ring the bell for that. I'm hyped to see what Kirk does for us. Kyle and Drake finna eat. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirski. I'm excited too, bro. Like I always say, I get excited anytime football is about to start, but I'm excited this year because I just feel like we're going to be winning games. So, it won't be as stressful of a season as we have had to endure these last about 6 years, So I'm looking forward to it. Seth says, Mike Verba son. Okay, former Titans head coach. Okay, Gotcha. Appreciate it, man. Like I said, I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. 3 Dirty in the building. What's going down, 3? Appreciate you coming through, my brother. How's everything going with you tonight, man? My dog Slim Dollar is in the building. What's going on, Slim? How you feeling, man? Because that was a good interview. And I know we get some people just came in, but this is my first time watching it, y'all. I didn't watch it today. I didn't watch any clips of it. I didn't watch anything about it on Twitter. So this was my very first time watching this interview right now on this broadcast. Seth says, I think they called it a medical retirement. Okay. I wonder what exactly happened there. A lot of times when they say medical, that can be something associated with that. So we'll see if anything comes out. Seth says, yes, you did. Reports came out that the Falcons signed Kirk Cousins. They told him that within the first 2 years, they would be actively looking for a quarterback behind him. Okay, so they did tell him that. They told him that within the first 2 years, they will be actively looking for a quarterback behind him. Okay. All right. So Slim says they did, put that bird in his ear. So if that's the case, couldn't have been too surprised, when his agent start, I guess tweeting stuff or maybe talking to the media. I guess probably I guess realistically they probably didn't think it would happen this draft. They probably expected, well, they'll probably do it next draft. When most of the guaranteed money is up. Well, pretty much all the guaranteed money is up. But no, they did it this year. Rodney Ford, welcome in. Appreciate you coming through, dog. Says Kirk can feel how you feel, but going back into the quarterback purgatory, ain't it? Get over it. Yes, indeed. Let's ring the bell for that. I totally agree, man. I totally agree. I was shocked just as much as anybody when they called Kirk Cousins' name on draft night. Me and Uncle Steve, shout out to Uncle Steve, we were doing our annual draft show. And we were just sitting here and they said Michael Penix and my mouth dropped. I'm like, huh? I was just as shocked as anybody. But as Rodney says here, man, like, if you ain't got a quarterback, man, you really ain't got a team. You know what I'm saying? Especially in today's NFL when everything is predicated for the quarterback and the offense to succeed in comparison to how NFL used to be, 10, 15, 20 plus years ago. So getting a quarterback, getting a proficient, good quarterback is the utmost importance in today's NFL. So I'm good with it. Brian Peoples in the building. What's going on, Brian? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming through. Showing some love. Hope everything going good with you. I got my dog John Harris in the building representing the Eye Test. Y'all make sure to check out the Eye Test every Wednesday at 10 p.m. I'm going to try to slide in there tomorrow and cause a little ruckus. What's going on, John? Appreciate you coming through. Says, boy, I hope they don't disappoint the fans. This is a bounce back reaction to 4 years. Arthur Smith. I hope they don't disappoint us also as well, John. Especially now that we say, we got the season ticket sold out. Anticipation is very high. I don't recall a year of positive anticipation, if that's correct grammar, positive anticipation, since like the 16-17 Falcons. So you don't want to drop the ball here, Atlanta. Don't do the most Falcons thing and come out here and lay an egg. Now, come out here and win some games. Get the momentum going back within your fan base and within your franchise. It's time to start back winning now. It's really I swear it seems like I've said this like the last 2 or 3 years, but there are no excuses. No excuses will be accepted. So let's get going. 3 dirties with the badge given out to these quarterbacks. We may have gotten a bargain. I'm just saying, let's ring the bell for that. 3. Yes. I mean, boy. Man, these quarterbacks are getting pizzy, dog. Tua just got a huge bag. What's that boy name in Green Bay? Jordan Love. He just got a huge bag. Like you say, man, now, when did we sign Kirk Cousins? When the free agents will start? March 10th, I think, or March 9th? So we signed Kirk Cousins around that time, middle of the month. Well, I think it's like the first March. We signed Kirk Cousins in March. And I do recall, like, the sentiment, some people's like, we paying for a quarterback that only won one playoff game and coming off a torn ACL. He old, blah, 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 blah. And I could understand it. I could, even though that was not my sentiment. I love, maybe love is too strong of a word. I liked the Kirk Cousins signing. I thought it was a good signing for us at the time. So I was pro Kirk Cousins even with the contract that he got. But some people felt we overpaid. But now what? March, April, May, June, July, almost 5 months later. Boy, that looked like a hell of a bargain. You know what I mean? $45 million. I don't even think Kurt is even the top 10 highest paid quarterback. I think he tied with Mahomes of all people. I think he tied for Mahomes at $45 million apiece, 10th highest paid. Bro, I mean, that's truly market value. That is truly market value. So I'm with you, 3. 5 months later, that look like a hell of a deal for us, man. Of course, Kirk got to come out here and be the Kirk Cousins he has been the last 4 or 5 years. But all things considered, it was a good contract for Atlanta. And then we get out this contract after this season. Well, after next season, 2 years. $90 million. Well, I'm going to just say everything guaranteed. I know some people can be technical. Well, it's 3 years guaranteed, but it's 2 years guaranteed. So after the 2025 season, if it ain't working out, okay, bye. Great contract, man. Now that you see what all these other quarterbacks are making, shoot, man. Brian said, just getting off from work. All right, man, go ahead and pop you a cold one. Enjoy the show, man. I won't be here long. This live stream is only about 30 minutes, so we won't be here long tonight. This won't be like the Waffle Houses. Johnson's on another subject. Did you see those crazy special teams rules that they come up with? Yeah, I did read them. I can't recite them off the top of my head, but if I remember right, you got to notify the other team that you're about to kick an onside kick, which is crazy. I mean, some of the point of the onside kick is the element of surprise in some cases, and I think you can only do them in the fourth quarter. I'm not sure what the rhyme and reason is for that, but I was looking at it when they showed it today. I was like, most of these don't even make sense to me. Why take away the element of surprise from a team? I don't understand it. Jay says we got killed for that pick, but I think the team is going to benefit from having reliable quarterbacks in the room. A lot of people are going to be walking back what they said about the pick. I think so too, Jay. I think so too. Because you already got a capable quarterback in Kirk Cousins here for probably at least the next 2 years. Then you got a young quarterback in Micah Penix who can just sit behind him and learn. We ain't got to rush to throw him in the fire, to throw him to the wolves. So I tend to agree with you on that, Jay. I think some people will walk back what they said about the Falcons. Especially a lot of these guys that were in the media, was talking all kind of junk about us when we made that pick. I think a lot of these talking heads in the media, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, they're gonna have to walk back what they said as well. Brian Stafford just restructured his contract today. Okay, I haven't seen the numbers on that. I'm gonna check it out when I get off here. John says, do you remember me reporting that the NFL was looking to create a quarterback salary cap? Yes, I seen that reported. That was maybe about 2-3 weeks ago. I think I read it on Twitter. I'm telling you, this is not going to be going on too long. Look for the players to get locked out. I think that makes sense based on how sky's the limit if you're a quarterback on what you can make. And I don't know if you remember, John, but I think it was last year they asked Arthur Blank, do he think the quarterback should have their own salary cap? He was like, no, I don't think they should. I think the way we do things right now are fine. So I wonder how he feels now. I don't know. Knowing him, he probably feel the same way. I don't recall a lot of times that Arthur Blank has really walked back a lot of things that he has said. But we'll see. I'm not sure, John, when the next collective bargaining agreement is, but it'll be interesting, man, because these quarterback contracts, boy, man, they making some serious dough. T. Terry, what's up, T? So Jordan Love got paid for 1 year of full-time quarterback play. We are not going to do like that. Yeah, he did. He looked pretty good though that 1 year. And T. Terry, that's going back to kind of the point that John was making. It's just like quarterback contracts, man. They're out of control. You know. Now, don't get me wrong. If I was in the NFL, I was a quarterback, I would have get as much as I can. But man, they're making some serious guap, some serious guap. Ryan says kickoff rules are crazy. You got to let people make stupid decisions. That's a part of the excitement. Yeah, you got a point. You got a real good point. I wonder how long that'll last. Because, sometimes when these leagues, and I'm including the NBA and Major League Baseball, sometimes they implement certain rules and they just don't work. And they'll say, okay, well, just forget it. I don't know if y'all remember this, and this is going into a different sport, but y'all remember in the NBA, that 1 year in the NBA, this was maybe about maybe 4 to 6 years ago. I'm not exactly sure. But, the NBA had started listening to the fans. We're tired of the flopping. These guys making all this money. They're doing all the flopping. Then the NBA, they implemented a rule, no more flopping. I think they said we're going to start calling technical fouls if you flop. Man, that might have lasted a week or two. I don't know if y'all remember that, but that might have lasted a week or two. And they just started back letting them play how they played before. Because, it's really hard to, well, first of all, a foul can be considered subjective in some cases. But a flop is even more of a gray area. So, but, I won't get off subject. 3 Dirty says the kickoff has a mandatory zone to be kicked in on the field, or the ball will be placed at a designated yard line. So they really shaking things up on that. So let's continue to see what Mr. Blank says here.
They viewed him as a tremendous player. And that, we've been through a situation post Matt Ryan when we're seeing that movie when we didn't have a franchise quarterback. And we didn't want to repeat that again. I mean, I certainly didn't. And I'm super sensitive to all forms of succession planning after 60-odd years of business. In any business, that's critical. And at the key position, the quarterback position in the NFL, that's very important. So just listening to our coaching staff and our personnel department, they really made a decision. Michael was going to be available at number 8.
No. Sound like Arthur Blank was kind of pro Michael Penix too. It sounded like he's saying what I know a few of the comments have said. I think it was Rodney said, after years in the quarterback purgatory, like, man, I'm not trying to do that again. Like, sound like Arthur Blank said, man, that stuff would give me a headache watching Mariota and Ritter, and an old Matt Ryan who couldn't do it no more. Like, man, let's get some real quarterbacks in here. It's kind of that's the interpretation that I'm getting based on what he just said.
They saw an extraordinary talent. Our Kirk Cousins is our franchise quarterback, is our starting quarterback, and he seems to be doing great from a medical standpoint. His attitude, his leadership, culturally, personally, with our players, the coaching staff has been nothing short of outstanding. So we couldn't be happier with that situation. But I know age does kind of creep up. I can speak to myself personally on that a little bit. I know what that means. And, Kirk will be 36 at the start of the season. And so we hope and pray he's got, 3 to 4 great years in front of him. Maybe beyond that, who knows? But we also know that, at some point, there will be a point that we'll need a transition. We want to make sure we do that smoothly. And so we didn't necessarily use the Green Bay model, although what Green Bay did was very interesting. When they signed Jordan Love, whatever year it was, I can't remember offhand now, but there's a lot of the same discussion. Aaron was their quarterback and obviously a Hall of Fame player. And so, they made a decision at that time to think about the future and plan for their future, not knowing what was going to happen with Aaron, longer term. And he was getting a little bit older as well. Today, you couldn't find a phone number in the zip code of Green Bay where they aren't going to, click their heels and jump for joy that they don't have Jordan Love. So when they just signed him to one of the biggest contracts for quarterback in the history of the NFL and currently in the NFL. So, we're doing our advanced planning and doing our advanced thinking. And so that's what fans expect of us to do. Maybe not right at the moment. At the moment, they may have liked a different player, but at some point down the road, they'll want to know that we can have a smooth transition at that very critical position for the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League.
Yeah. So Blake is pretty much saying, look, and this is kind of cliche depending on what side of the fence that you're on. But it's kind of like he was saying, look, we trying to be good now. We're trying to be good later. We didn't necessarily copy what Green Bay did with Jordan Love, but it made sense in our situation at that point in time. We found ourselves in a situation where we had a lot of cap space, more than enough cap space to spend on a good quarterback, which we did. We also found ourselves in a situation picking number 8 again that we can get another quarterback if he's available. And what's the most important position in the NFL? Quarterback. And Blank said, look, I've been in business 60 years. He didn't say this, but I say it for him. He was saying, I've been in business 60 years, and I'm better than 99.9% of other people who are in business. He didn't say that, but I say it for him. He said, I'm better than 99.9% of other people in business. And in my 60 years in business, and also the experience that I've gained in those 60 years, succession plans are critical, to reach an optimal success as a business. So that's what I gathered from what Mr. Blank just said right there. So that's why you got Kurt and you got Michael Penix here at the same time, So we're going to see how that thing works out. And I think we're going to do well with it, man. I ain't got no problems with it. Slam says the reason why the quarterback salary is going through the roof is because the NFL has opened the door to the gambling market. Oh, I never thought about that. And quarterback importance has increased even more. You have to pay for that as well. I didn't think about that. I tell you, man, 20 years ago, I'd have never thought the NFL and I just say Vegas would be partners, and they are partners now. That's a little bit what Slim is saying. Slim says, I also have you watched the Raheem interview on the Pivot? I have not. I saw somebody share it on Facebook today. I'll try to watch it tonight. If I don't watch it tonight, I'll probably watch it sometime tomorrow, but I have not seen it as of yet. But I do plan on watching it. I pulled it up and I saw it was only about an hour long. So like, well, yeah, I could watch that. Because some of them podcasts be pretty long depending on who they're doing. John says the owners aren't going to wait for the agreement to expire. They don't want guaranteed salaries, and the guarantee amounts are creeping up. Yeah, they are. They are. I was going to say Lamar. Deshaun got a fully guaranteed deal. I think he got $230 million. And like you say, John, with every big contract, that guaranteed money is slowly creeping up. And I understand the point you're making, John. The owners don't want to get to a point where that becomes expected. You want to sign a guy to you want to sign a quarterback to a $200 million deal, and they expect $185 million to be guaranteed. They expect $190 million to be guaranteed. And that could cause some issues. So I can see how that can be a problem from the owner's perspective. Now the players, they love it. Because what happened too, I think, John, a little bit of your point, the quarterbacks get used to that money. Then you're going to have the wide receivers coming like, hey, man, what about me? Yeah, I'm getting 120, 30 million, but shoot, I need 110 of that guaranteed. Then the cornerback. Before you know it, the left tackle going to be coming out there. So, you make a good point. They're going to try to nip that in the bud before it gets there. 330 says, and don't forget that we have suspect quarterback play with a $100 million defense. So I agree with Mr. Blank. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I kind of forgot a little bit about the money that we spent on defense with suspect quarterback play, and you know our history as Falcons fans in our franchise. When we have a good defense, we got to take advantage of it because it don't come often. When Atlanta has a great defense, it don't come often. So whenever it happens, we want to take advantage of it. Got Cool C in the middle. What's happening, Cool C? Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you coming through. Says, yo, I'm late. 770 in the house. Shout out to the entire 770 in the building. Big 770 energy. Appreciate you as always, Cool C coming through. Says I'm late, but I'm in the house. We are actually doing a reaction to Arthur Blank's press conference that he held today, and we're only about 10 minutes in, so we have not even made the halfway mark yet. So you came in a good time. Ray says the pivot interview with Raheem was really good. Okay. Hey, maybe we'll react to that maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see how my schedule plays out. But if y'all say it's good, maybe we can do a reaction to that because I hadn't seen it, so maybe we'll do a reaction video to that. Also, we'll see how it goes. Miss Denise in the middle. What's going on? Denise says, hey, tight in the Berg. Ain't what's happening, Miss Denise? Hope everything is going well with you tonight. Appreciate you coming through. Got Coach Davis in the building. Shout out to you, Coach. Says you can tell by this presser that he definitely listens to the fans. Coach also says, and listen to that Raheem Moore's interview. Okay, everybody's saying listen to the interview. So I gotta watch it. So we might do a reaction video to that also tomorrow, y'all. Well, no, we might do it tomorrow if I can squeeze in the time to do it tomorrow. If not, we may do it on Thursday. I don't know. We'll see how it go. A1 Forever in the building. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you coming through. Y'all make sure to check out my dog A1 Forever on YouTube also. He had a show earlier today where I think they had Locked on Falcons. I caught a little bit of it. Got to watch the end of it. But shout out to my dog, man. Appreciate you coming through. So let's continue with Mr. Blank's press conference. We're about 20 minutes away from the end of it.
Mr. Blank, you said at the start of that answer that you had informed Kirk that you were probably going to draft a quarterback in this draft.
Did I inform? No, I didn't inform Kirk.
He was informed.
Yes, he was. Yes.
But at what point? Because our understanding was he was not informed until 5 minutes before the pick. Are you saying that conversation happened earlier?
Yes, I know that Raheem, at a minimum, I think Terry as well, during the contract discussions, probably talking about the room. I wasn't there, but they advised him that we obviously would potentially pick a quarterback to groom and develop along the way, and so I think he was surprised, as many people were, and frankly we were, in the sense that our plan was not to pick a quarterback at number 8, but with the grades that our personnel department and coaching staff had on Penix and being available at number 8, it turned out that that's what happened. So I do know this, that as we approached number 8, they made every effort to reach out directly to Kirk and speak to him, et cetera. They weren't successful at the moment. They were later that evening, and obviously there's been a number of conversations since then. So,
okay, y'all. I think what he's saying is they told him early in the process that they're going to probably look to draft a quarterback to groom. And based on what Mr. Blank just said, I don't think they presented it to him as we're going to look to draft a first rounder to groom. So maybe Kirk and Kirk's team thought, well, they'll probably go get a guy in the 3rd or 4th round, stick behind me just as an insurance policy because Taylor Heineke only got 1 year left on his deal. But like Mr. Blank just said, they were all surprised when Penix was there in the 1st round. So that changes a lot, as y'all already know. When you draft a guy at 8th overall at quarterback, and you draft a guy at 74 overall at quarterback. Typically, the guy that's drafted at 74 overall, if you already got a veteran quarterback, most times, if he's still playing good, virtually almost all times, if he's still playing good, he ain't got nothing to worry about. But now you draft the quarterback at 8th overall, you intend to play that guy. You intend to play him. You intend for that guy to be the starter on your franchise for the next 10 years. So, because at first when I was watching, I was like, okay, now, I don't want to say that somebody lying, but like the stories are kind of conflicting. But now that he said that, I understand how everything was going. I understand. I get it now. And it makes sense. It makes sense. Basically, Kirk Cousins and his team did not expect them to draft the quarterback at number 8. Kirk was probably expecting a wide receiver for more weapons, or them to shore up their defense, like a lot of other people in the media was. But like Arthur Blank said, hey, we don't listen to the media. We're independent thinkers. We do things how we want to do it in house. Shout out to my brother, Big Low Country in the building. Shout out to you, bro. Preachers coming through, showing some love. Since we're in the world, Bo. And if y'all not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my dog, Big Low Country Sports, here on YouTube, one of our greatest YouTube creators that covers Falcons content. And also, congratulations to your family. I wanted to see him at UG in Athens, but shout out to him. Signed with Tennessee also, man. So I know that was a very proud moment for you. I saw the pictures on Twitter, man. So congratulations to that brother. And I anticipate watching him on Sunday in about 3 years or so. And also A1 Forever says, yes, Aaron Freeman and Jarvis Davis pulled up tonight. They gave some good thoughts. Yes, I watched a little bit of that, so I'm going to try to finish watching it tonight or sometimes on tomorrow. They have both of those gentlemen have a wealth of knowledge. Coach says, every reason I say we should and would get a quarterback in the draft and made total sense. Yeah, Coach, I remember you on the Waffle House. You was telling us that, and we all was throwing bricks and tomatoes or bananas and all kind of foreign objects at you. I think somebody tried to even cut you for saying that. But, hey, I got to give you props, man. You were absolutely right. You were absolutely right. You were absolutely correct. Big Low said Arthur had a little attitude today. Okay. I see you got his arms crossed already right now. Arthur Blank still probably mad at a couple of these guys for how they lit him up. How they lit him up for the first time ever in that press conference toward the end of the year. I had never seen Arthur Blank under fire like that, man, because like the media loves Arthur Blank, because Arthur Blank is just one of those owners. I ain't gonna say owners because then I'm generalizing it. But Arthur Blank is one of them people that you just like. He's just very likable. You've never heard, or I've never heard, I shouldn't say you, but I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Arthur Blank. His past players, who played for him, and even the ones who might have got cut or might have got traded. I vividly remember John Abraham having a lot of good things to say about him on an interview that I was watching one time. So he's a very likable person. So I know when all them reporters were just, they digging the blanking. Richmond K. So maybe Arthur Blank still feeling some kind of way about that. It is funny because Arthur Blank didn't even show up for the next press conference they did. I think maybe a couple weeks after that one. Arthur's like, man, Terry, you handle this, man. I ain't got them folks made my head hurt that last press conference. Let's see. Coach Davis says no. He's saying that they was always going to get one, but when Michael Penix was there, they had to get him. They were not expecting it. Yes, absolutely. You're welcome, Big Low. You're very welcome, bro. I'm gonna make sure I check out for your family, man. I'm looking forward to watch him groom as a football player as well. He is under excellent tutelage. I do know that. Slim says Kirk was surprised because he knew the last 2 years of his contract were called dummy years. Yep. He spoke on that. I forget what podcast he was on. Shaq. If y'all have not seen Kirk Cousins interview on Shaq's podcast, excuse me, I don't know the name of it, but you can easily find Shaq's podcast. But watch Kirk Cousins interview on Shaq's podcast. He pretty much broke that down exactly what Slim was talking about, dummy years. But my bad, Slim. Kirk was surprised because he knew the last 2 years of his contract were called dummy years. So now you got a quarterback in the first round. You don't need those dummy years. Yeah. In layman's term, absolutely, you're absolutely right. All right, so let's get back to Mr. Blank here.
So again, I think the important thing is that Kirk, I think, understands that now. Michael understands it. They share a suite. They've been great suite mates. They've been great on the field together. And Michael is learning a lot from Kirk, and he will for a long period of time. And most importantly, Kirk is healthy and providing us with the kind of leadership and the kind of play that we can see so far that we invested in him. So,
in general, on those draft conversations like that, when do you want to be involved? When do you get involved? Like, how closely do you follow it?
I follow it very closely. I mean, I'm involved in the sharing of the strategy behind our draft approach. We go through a number of scenarios. I'm in a number of pre-draft meetings where they're screening potentially who we might pick and what position and why. Then there's a bunch of options. Obviously, we're one of 31 teams, 32 teams picking, so anything can happen. And during that night, it did fall our way in terms of Michael. But it's a decision made by the coaching staff and by the personnel department, and that's the way it should be. But I'm aware of everything.
Do they clear it by you? Do you want them to clear it by
I'm
you?
aware. Okay, I'm being real clear on my words now. So they make me fully aware. You don't have to clear it with me. You just have to make me aware.
I see what you're talking about, Lo.
So I don't like surprises. They know that. But it's not up for me to make those decisions. It's up for them to make those decisions and me to understand the logic behind it. So I'm very sensitive.
So, and this is this is something that Arthur Blank has been saying for years upon years now. But he's pretty much saying, "Look, I don't make draft decisions. That's not me. No, that's not me making personnel decisions. I'm aware of it. I'm abreast of it. It comes across my desk, but I'm not the person that's pushing the pen and saying that we should do this or we should do that. I'm involved in it, of course. I'm on these conference calls. I'm in the group text, but I leave that up to the guys that are hired to do that. And the reason I bring that up because a lot of people assume that Arthur Blank was the person that was driving the Deshaun Watson. I guess I call it sweepstakes. That was driving the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, and if I take him for his word here, maybe he wasn't a leading force. He said he wasn't. So maybe we will never truly know exactly what it was behind that. Big Lo said, "CD, I seen that." Hey, Lo, he had to get some straightening. Then he got some straightening real quick too, and he still got them arms crossed. I would love to have a body language expert come on here and talk about his body language right here. I think Arthur Blank's still mad at them for them hard questions a few months back.
On behalf of our fan base, everybody connected to the franchise, on not having a period of time post Kirk Cousins, however long that may be, God willing, a long period of time, to having a gap again between having that kind of franchise quarterback and being in a spin cycle of a washing machine and not being able to get out, not having that player.
Arthur, based on
You
your
talked about earlier about your the fans being excited about the season with the sellouts. But can you talk about how excited you are about this upcoming season?
Yeah, I'm always, look, if you talk to 31 other owners, they're all excited. It's the beauty of one of the beauties of the NFL is that, during these months of training camp and you get into preseason, fans across the United States and now actually throughout the world, but certainly the United States, minimally, are very excited about their teams. So I think, objectively, I think if you look at our team, our roster, the improvements we made in free agency, the quality of the draft picks, the quality of the aging of our draft picks and free agents over the last several years. I think when I look at our defensive line, when I look at our skill positions on offense, I look at our quarterback room now, I look at our young defensive players. So I'm excited about, for all the right reasons, about where we are. And, we have a very competitive schedule. Going through it just last night again, and the way we're starting out and throughout the year. I mean, we have to compete in our own division. We got to win our own division. We got to be able to compete with other teams in the NFC, and hopefully move on and play in the playoffs and do that successfully. But there's a lot that can slip between the cup and the lip, and our guys are pumped and ready to go. And
hold on, a lot that can slip between the cup and the lip. Boy, that don't sound like some old Cochran, Georgia, backwoods lingo. A lot can slip between the cup and the lip. I hadn't heard that one before. Never heard that one before, but I like it. I do like it.
Coaches Raheem's done a great job. Jimmy Lake's done a great job. Zach Robinson, Maurice. I mean, we've got great coordinators and we got great coaching staff behind them. Raheem's built, I think, an outstanding coaching staff. They have some depth to it. So I have reason to be enthused, excited beyond just being the owner for the fans. And that's how I consider myself. I represent the fans. So every decision I always make, it's always in the context of the lens of what's the best thing for our fans today, tomorrow, but also beyond tomorrow. And it's one thing as an owner, you got to think not just about today and tomorrow, but really beyond tomorrow. So hence you end up thinking about, well, what happens? You don't end up with a gap in your quarterback play in the future. So
you listen to the fans, they expect our.
So you can really tell that Arthur Blank was I'm trying to watch my words so I can say what I mean, but you can tell that he was good with the Michael Penix pick. He didn't like what he saw in his quarterback room these last few years. So you can obviously tell that he liked the direction that Fontenot and Raheem Morris went in the draft with the first round pick. You know, he's talking about that in detail. And I've said this about Arthur Blank before, but you listen to some NFL owners talk. I don't want to say they don't have a clue, but some of them, as far as their football team go, some of them don't have much of a clue. And that's why some of them don't talk. They don't know. It's just an investment to them. It's a hobby. But you can obviously tell that's not the case with Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank truly knows about this team like he's one of the coaches. He knows very intricate details about this team. Where we're strong at, where we're weak at. And he can talk about the team for hours upon hours. And I give him a lot of credit for that. To me, that's a trait of somebody who really cares about his team. He wants the team to succeed. And God willing, we will be able to deliver Mr. Blank a Super Bowl while he's here. Because I really think and of course I'm a Falcons fan, so I'm going to say that, but I'm being genuine. I really truly think he deserves a Super Bowl, as well as our fan base, even though people throw mud on the Falcons fan base name, man. But hopefully the football gods look out for us very soon. Three Dirty says being aware and involved are clearly two different positions in any progress. Yep, you're absolutely right. Seth says nobody in the media was sad when Mitter got traded. I was gonna say fan base either, but I seen somebody on Twitter say this. Seth, they were like, "I can't believe Desmond Ridder had a hive." There was definitely some Falcons fans that felt like they were sad. Maybe sad is too dramatic of a word, but they didn't want Ridder to get traded. They felt like we should give him more time. And trust me, I get rooting for your team, rooting for the players that are on your team, but I just could never understand the the hype that some have for Desmond Ritter, I could never understand it. Now, when you're talking about somebody like Matt Ryan, he was so the narrative behind Matt was just so compelling. No, compelling isn't the right word. The narrative with Matt Ryan was so polarizing. I can understand how Matt Ryan had a hive. Matt Ryan was here 14 years. Some of our younger fans, that's all they knew as a quarterback. Some of our fans who are very active on social media now, who are in their 20s, that was their quarterback. So I can understand their loyalty, their devotion to Matt. For the Atlanta Falcons, Matt came here. He won a lot of games. You saw Super Bowl with Matt. You saw MVPs with Matt. You saw NFC championships with Matt. So I understood the love and devotion for Matt Ryan. I understood it totally. But for Desmond Ritter, I never could understand it. I did not get it. But, hey, we moved on. He moved on. Best of luck to Ritter, and better luck for the Falcons. T. Terry says Arthur Blank is a real live Godfather boss. That's how they talk. Hey, let's ring the bell for that. Hey, man, he might be, Blank originally from New York now, so he might be mob ties. Rodney Force says Atlanta United won a championship. Yes, they did. That was a great season. Before the Falcons did, Blank don't see us as nothing more than a business opportunity. When it seems secondary considering certain decisions over the past year. Now, Rodney, I will disagree with you on that. Now, I'll disagree with you to an extent. It's definitely a business opportunity for sure. None of these owners are running or owning an NFL team without profit margins in consideration. But Arthur Blank, from my perspective, I don't think he just looks at us as something to make him money. I don't think that's how he looks at the Falcons. And that's going back to how I just talked about how intricate he could talk about his team. There are not many owners who can really go into such details about the team, not about like how much money they make and how much ticket prices is, stuff like that. But Blank can really talk about his team. So I really think he's very passionate about the Falcons. And I think that's why you see him so much. And he has caught a good amount of criticism for coming on the field before the games are over. I think he does that because he loves it. He loves his team. And, and credence to your point also, of course he loves the money that the team makes him also. But I really think is not just – I don't think he looks at the Falcons and just sees dollar bills solely. I truly believe Arthur Blank is passionate about his team. And when you say certain decisions over the past few years, I think that's why sometimes certain decisions have been made because he is passionate about the team. I've always criticized him about the Falcon for Life thing, and I think that draws into him having a love for his team, because when you have a love for your team, you're going to have a love for certain players on that team. He genuinely had a love for Michael Vick. It would have been – nobody would have questioned Arthur Blank if when Michael Vick got out of prison, Blank washed his hands with him. Like, dude, you disgraced me. You embarrassed me. I cut you this check before you even had won any kind of Super Bowl, anything close to a Super Bowl. So he could have just easily washed his hands with Vick. But no, he embraced Michael Vick. At that point in time, Vick was no longer on the team. I remember a interview that Vick did years ago. He brought up Arthur Blank. He was saying that him and Arthur Blank always had a good relationship. He also was saying that when he got out of when they got out of prison, Blank was one of the first people to come visit him, and they sat down on the floor and had dinner, or maybe lunch. Excuse me. But he said over some time, him and Blank kind of lost communication. And I remember him saying that his wife told him, "Hey, man, you need to reach out to Arthur." And I say that because your wife has a sixth sense that us dumb males don't always have. Most times, a woman can sense when somebody is being sincere with her spouse. And I'm bringing it all together just to say how he loved his team, he loved his players on this team. Same thing with Julio. Same thing with Matt Ryan. You know, I think that's why he gave them the contracts that he gave them, because he loved them. He loved his team. And I think that's why he was so hurt when Julio left in the fashion that he did. I don't know if y'all remember, man, but Arthur Blank spoke in the press like 3 times. He was truly hurt about Julio leaving. And in hindsight, it ended up being the best thing because, you know, if Julio would have stayed, Julio broke down as soon as he left. So we got out of the Julio contract at the perfect time in hindsight. King of Line Sport in the building. What's going on, King? Bro, I appreciate you coming through, showing a little bit of love. How you doing tonight, man? Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Rodney says, okay, totally fair enough. But there aren't many owners that would allow several first-round offensive draft picks go without getting the ball, without tapping the coach on the shoulder. You got to keep in mind, though, Rodney, he just told you, I don't get involved in that. I get your point too, but he's being transparent and saying, look, I own the team, I'm aware of everything, but look, I hire guys to do that. And if I don't like what they're doing, then I will fire them. You know? So his way of tapping guys on the shoulder is when he called them in the office and said, hey, man, it's been a wonderful 3 years. You know, love and respect you as a person. But we've decided to go into another direction, Arthur Smith. We've decided to go in another direction, Jim Morris Jr. I don't really think that you can really fault the owner for not meddling, because pretty much what you're saying is that he should meddle. And people tend to dislike meddling owners. Jerry Jones, you know, people, David Tepper, you know, owners who truly meddle, people don't like meddling owners. And I think that's why a lot of people like Arthur Blank. You know, he fired Thomas Dimitroff, and every time Thomas Dimitroff get on these podcasts now, and Dimitroff has been on plenty of podcasts. Every time he get on these podcasts, he has nothing but love, respect, and admiration for Arthur Blank when he talks about his old boss. You know, that's just my opinion on it. But let's keep going.
To be in the playoffs, do you?
Our fans fully do, and my hope was that we'll be in the playoffs. I mean, I have every reason to think that we're going to be very competitive this year. But, you know, I mean, we got to play the schedule. We got to play the teams, and we got to make it happen. So, am I optimistic? I'm definitely optimistic. Certainly more optimistic than I've been in several years, and have reason to feel that way. But again, you know, every game is a battle. Every game is the other team has got a lot of great talent, very good coaching, had lots of reasons to compete against. So first came out of the box, we're playing against our old coach. So with creative mind and some creative talent. So it's going to be an interesting season in all ways.
Grady Jarrett is going into year 10 with this organization. I'm just curious if you could surmise what he's meant over a decade to this franchise.
Well, it's interesting. When we drafted Grady, I'm trying to think it was fifth or sixth round. Fifth round, thank you. So, you know, he was captain of the team at Clemson. So I'd say that, you know, the attributes that he had at Clemson, being, you know, a great player there and a great leader there, all of those have carried over here. And I would say even have multiplied. There's no question he's an outstanding athlete. He's an outstanding leader. There's probably nobody on the team that works harder than him. There's probably nobody on the team that's a better role model in every aspect that we ask our Falcons to be, not just on the field, but off the field. His community work is incredible. Just told me a few minutes ago he's getting married next year, so I'm excited for that. And, but he's one of these folks that spend time with the right hand. We're blessed to have provide the kind of leadership that he brings to us and does bring to us.
Earlier this morning during Coach Morris's press conference, he sang your praises. He was saying thank you for all of the tools put in place to allow them to do what they do on the field. Your thoughts on some of the things that the jumbotrons outside, the new weight room, all the things.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's a tribute to two things. One, it's a recognition of one of our key values. So, it is either the best or nothing. So we committed to doing that in every way and committed to listening to our players, understanding our players, respecting our players, and responding to our players. So the additions that you see in the building this year, in the weight room, and you had that chance to tour it, and the cafeteria and the equipment areas, et cetera, are incredible. I mean, they contribute to our staff here that have pulled it off in a short period of time. I do apologize to fans. We didn't have training camp back there this year, and I told our staff already, next year they can expect us to double up on open camps for our fans. But in any event, I mean, that's what we're about, is that we want to understand what our players need and want, and what necessitates putting them in the best position so they can train properly and perform properly. And we've been happy to be able to do it in a first-class way. You all haven't had a chance to tour some of this stuff. You ought to get one of our staff to take you around. It's very impressive. It's neat.
When Raheem was introduced as coach, you also announced a administrative change in terms of.
And I'll just add this too. Rodney says fair point about Julio, and just to add this to what we were talking about, Rodney. I think that's another example of him just like really caring about the team, because when the NFLPA, they give out the annual report cards on each NFL's team's headquarters. And the Falcons, a few years ago, they got some very unsavory grades on the report card. And I remember Arthur Blank coming out saying, this is unacceptable. And I'm sorry, y'all. It's thunder and lightning here. I'm old school. You know what Grandma used to say about thunder and lightning. We may have to end this pretty soon. But damn, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, he was like, this is unacceptable. So long story short, when they got those bad grades, he pretty much did $30 million in renovations, which is why fans could not go to training camp this year, as he just addressed. And man, a lot of these just solely money owners. Granted, he's a billionaire, but $30 million is $30 million. A lot of these owners who just focus on that dollar bill, man, they're not gonna put no $30 million into their training facility like that. Yeah, some of them would have upgraded it and renovated, but $30 million worth. So, that I think that says a lot about Blank also. Jamal sister, glad to see y'all happen back on the wagon. Yeah, well, technically, I never left the wagon. I've been in the wagon since the doctor slapped me. I came out the muzzle a Falcons fan, but I totally understand what you're saying. You're pretty much saying glad to see you're excited about the team, and I'm glad to be excited about the team again. I want nothing from a sports fan's perspective. I want nothing more than my favorite team to be successful, and the Falcons are my favorite team. So I want nothing but success for them. So let's keep this going. Try to speed through this, y'all, because if I hear one more lightning,
the coach,
I'm getting off.
Directly to you. How has that gone, and what has it been like for you to have those communications with Raheem as he has upbeat and effusive with you as we see on a daily basis?
I've got a great relationship with Terry and Raheem both. I've had a great relationship with Terry and Arthur in the past. We've always had that direct communication, and that will continue. Much like I answered the question earlier about Michael and the decision to draft him, the 8th slot this year, is that they keep me aware. We think about strategy development, think about what we're doing long term, et cetera, and we're of a like mind. It's the reason we selected Raheem as our coach. You not only can think about winning this year, but think about what key decisions they have to make sure we have a competitive roster and a great coaching staff for years to come. So, my respect for them, my communication with them is outstanding, is excellent, as it is with Jimmy, as it is with Zach Robinson and Maurice.
Can you say, just to follow up, are those daily communications that you?
Yeah, I would say during the season, much more so, and obviously during the summer they were away, I was away, so I try to give them a little space, time and space to kind of connect with their families and friends and loved ones, and they come back with the energy they need for a long season.
Curious, you're going in, I think it's year 23 as owner of the Falcons, and as I know, fans are hungering for a world championship, a Super Bowl title. For you, what are your thoughts and feelings about not having been able to declare that hurdle yet?
Well, I think, we've had, for many years, we had a very, very competitive team and had, year after year winning records, et cetera. So we've had, 6 years where our record has not been what we wanted it to be, Ken, as you know, and there's been reasons for it, but, the reasons are the reasons, and we have to deal with those reasons and make sure we eliminate them. And I think we've done some of that. Essentially, I look at a doubling down on the quarterback position because we realized, how penal that was post Matt, what happened to our ability to win on a consistent basis. I feel good about where we are. And I look back in the periods of 22 years that I'm incredibly proud of, the amount of winning we've done over that period of time. The last 6 years have not been up to my standards and up to the, standards of the building and our fans. Yet, inside the stadium, it's been a great experience. It's a blessing to our fans that we've been voted by their actions and our support as, number one place in the NFL to watch and experience a game, et cetera. And that's not our vote, that's their vote. So we've still made it a great experience for them, but we got to perform better on the field and earn that commitment that they're giving us, they're showing us now.
I have a big picture question. 2 or 3 years, Kirk's average year salary could look at a bargain with some maybe pushing 60, 70, something million a year. Did you think, in your experience within your cloud amongst the owners, that the quarterback salary should be kind of a side percentage of a cap as opposed to included in the overall?
Yeah, there's been some discussion of that. What I do know is this, and I don't know how that'll shake out. That has been discussed in kind of loose terms, but the partnership between the players, the owners, franchises, and our fans is a beautiful partnership. Essentially, our players, they earn 50% of the total revenue for the National Football League. They fully deserve it. They earn it, et cetera. It's attributed and distributed, I should say, based on the market today. And obviously, you've got now 8 quarterbacks that are being paid on average over $50 million a year. Last couple of signings, last few days, including Jordan Love, who I mentioned earlier. At that position, everybody sees the importance of it in this game at this level. So whether or not that'll be separated out in the future and discussion about that, I'm not sure. I've heard discussion about it. It's never really come up in a serious way, studied by the league, but we'll see.
And this is something that we talked about earlier. The quarterback cut, a separate cap for the quarterback. I think John Harris brought this up. And I mentioned earlier also how initially Blank said he was against that. And he kind of was a little sly on it. He obviously didn't say he was for a separate quarterback contract, but he said there have been talks about that loosely. So we'll see how much momentum that gathers, or that how much momentum that gains. Nojos Bartulis, hope I said that right. What's going on? So appreciate you coming through, man. Stopping in. Travis Preston says, "What's up?" Folks, shout out to the 47, man. 478 is in the building. Says Blank is just a traditional owner that allows his staff to make the personnel decisions. That's what he hires them for. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. I think just like you said perfectly, he's just a traditional owner. He allows his staff to make the decisions, and then hey, he backs them up. Like he's doing for the Michael Penix draft pick. So I absolutely agree with you on that. Appreciate you coming through, Travis.
Team has multiple primetime games. What does it mean to you knowing that the league has so much faith that people want to watch this team?
I think that's a great question. So, our partners are the players. The media partners are our partners as well, because they obviously, just like everybody in this room, really is in a partnership with us. Because without you giving us your time today and the opportunity to speak to you on a daily basis, whether it be Raheem or Terry or whoever, we don't have a voice directly to the fan base. So I would say at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, we appreciate the job you all do for us and for our fan base. So I think it's important to recognize that our media partners, they've invested a lot in the NFL. Well over half of the revenue for the NFL comes from our media partners, and that distribution is, you're a relatively young man. Everyone in this room is a young man compared to me, but is changing. So the forms of distribution are changing pretty dramatically at very rapid rates. So we have to continue to find ways to make sure we put product, the NFL makes sure we put product out there that our fans really want to see. And they want to see competitive teams. They want to see, the personalities. They want to see, the right kinds of matchups. So the fact this year we've gone from a number of years, because of our record has not been, as Ken described a minute ago, not been what we wanted it to be, has not been the case. I think the fact we have 4 national games this year compared to none the last 2 years, at least maybe 3 years, is a tribute to their feeling that we do have a much more competitive team this year. So I'm excited about that. I know they work hard at trying to put together the most competitive schedule they can be. So I appreciate the opportunity to show our team off on a national basis.
Anything else?
It's waiting for you. International market invites. Germany, is that in the team's future possible game?
Sure. Yeah, we that's one of the markets. It is the market that we have one of the rights to, along with other teams, and we've got a pretty significant fan base in Germany. We made some efforts last year, both in the community relations commitment we made, as well as locally. And we played in London a couple of years ago to bring those fans to us. So we're definitely open to having a game in Germany in the future. This year, as you know, internationally, the league can have up to 8 games internationally. There'll be 5. There'll be 3 played in London, 1 in Germany, and 1 in Brazil. So we're excited about that, and the results internationally, the National Football League has been incredible. So we continue to look at that as being fertile grounds to grow our game, and the response has been incredible. How quickly those tickets have sold, and the media following we've had as well.
There was a survey by the NFLPA that I think 90% of players prefer grass over turf, and I'm curious in regards to Mercedes-Benz, are there logistical issues, or is that something you consider at all of putting it down as you have for soccer games?
Yeah, we have not had. Well, first of all, I read the same study. So the NFLPA, the union, and the NFL works collaboratively on coming up with the best fields for the players to play on. As all of our fans could appreciate, is that artificial surfaces are not all the same.
All right, y'all. I guess I'll stop it right there because they just talking about artificial turf versus grass turf. So I don't think it's a lot there. Coach says, see what I mean? He has said something about the fans 20 times. Yeah, Blake has always, from my perspective, been pretty fan centric. I know they'll often send me like surveys. So, I think he considers what the fans think a good deal. I'm not saying that he's gonna let fans make obvious decisions, but as much as possible, I think he likes to consider what the fans think about the team. Seth says, so glad we didn't draft JJ McCarthy. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This thunder and lightning got me a little scared. So I'm about to go ahead and get these headphones off of me and check out of here, man. But I do want to thank everybody for coming in. I appreciate the love, appreciate the interaction, man. Really just appreciate the conversation, just to be straightforward. Appreciate the conversation. Good little interview there from press conference from Arthur Blank. As you do leave, and those that do watch the replay, make sure you do me a big favor. Hit the like button. May come back Wednesday or maybe Thursday and may do a video reaction to the Raheem Morris interview. And I'll make sure not to watch it until then if we come back and do a reaction video. Rodney says, I'm in the ATL2. That thunder is getting crazy. You know how it is when you raise them grandmas in the South, but they didn't told you. I didn't told you, babe. When it's thunder and lightning, sit your ass down somewhere and be quiet. Appreciate it, Seth. With that said, I'm about to get out of here, man. Peace and God bless y'all. See y'all soon.